We are live. You're muted, Hal. Oh, okay.
I thought I could do it, but I couldn't. Okay. Hello, committee. Treasurer's report, cafeteria fund, building fund, and capital projects fund for March. You have any questions or anything?
No.
No, I didn't see any. Okay, so we're comfortable. You don't have anything to say about that, Doug, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, check registers for.
And then I have an additional 2 that we put in your folders.
Oh, check registers?
So, yep.
Okay, good. We'll look at those later. You didn't put it in our folder, though. It's not in there.
Really?
Nope. Where? Oh, but it's. Oh, it's underneath the committee things. Okay. Thank you, Doug.
Yep.
You have anything on there, last one that you want to ask about? Okay. Auditorium requests. And always ask us, HEPCO. Are they close to done, Doug?
Yes, they are close to done. Okay. And this is actually a closing with this last one.
Oh, they will be done. Then HEPCO will be done.
Yeah, HEPCO will be done, but Noto is still out.
Okay, and MHE engineering, they done then, or is that for something besides auditorium?
Yeah, that's the work. Whenever one of the contractors does work, they check the work, make sure it's in compliance with the contract. Then they process the payroll for the Department of Labor, and then they submit to me the payroll payment request, which is essentially what that is.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, for the preliminary budget, we didn't have power for most of the day. We didn't have power for most of the day, so I wasn't able to print it out for you. So we didn't have email as well.
Oh, this is a contract. Okay, I thought it was budget. Okay, good.
So I'll have that for you in email later.
Okay.
But I was hoping to provide you all with, but when you.
See, I didn't notice that when I got home. I knew it was out. I just thought it blinked. Okay. Very good. Then we can't talk about that or look at it. Single audit from Baker Tilly. We don't have anything from them, do we?
Yeah, it's actually in there. It's 67 pages. Oh no, it would have been in your email.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's the same findings that they've had the last couple of years, and that's segregation of responsibilities. They think we need more. We don't have enough people to actually separate all the financial work in the office. And the other one was we went to the new CSIU accounting system, and I was hoping that this would clear a lot of it up. They have an issue with the way some of the end of year accruals happen. What we do, we transfer money between the general fund and the food service accounts. But essentially, the food service account reimburses the general fund for a portion of the payroll that the food service fund is able to pay. And just the way those accruals flow, there's always a couple balance adjustment entries, but those are all balance sheet entries. So, but other than that, the audit was very good. So,
So when we don't have enough people to provide the financial stuff, is that When we don't have enough people to write the financial stuff, is that because we can't find the people, or because we just don't have the, I don't know,
Yeah,
space to put them in?
now, once you get down to a certain size like us, I'm not sure where another person would actually fit in a role in the central office. But what they like to see is that the responsibilities in the office are separated enough so that one person doesn't control all aspects of the finance. That's why,
Balances.
yeah. Here, the Sullivan County School Board of Directors and Administration recognize the benefit of segregation of duties as a means of reducing potential error or fraud. However, the school board and administration recognize that additional costs to accomplish the desired segregation by increasing the accounting staff is currently not an affordable option. Other means have been implemented to reduce the potential fraud, theft, and error. The district staff has developed procedures to monitor all phases of accounting and payroll procedure, thus providing internal controls. The school board's finance committee also meets with the business manager and superintendent on a monthly basis to review the financial documents and report. That's this. So I give you a treasurer's report each month, as well as on there is included the payroll, and you actually approve all the check registers. And with the banking, I don't do any online banking. I can log in to view statements, but if there's any transfers or deposits, I have to make that in person at our bank. So that way there's a person in between me. Yeah, so that.
It's the internet.
Yeah, yep.
Question on the register that you just gave us.
Yeah.
The Charter Academy. Is that 1 month, that fee?
Which one?
It's in the new register he just gave us.
When is it?
The Charter Academy. We pay them every month. Yeah, it's every month.
The PA, it depends on when we get them. Sometimes it's a combination of, if we get it after the register is already written. Yeah, you'd see there March, April, March for some of them, for like the Insight. But which one exactly? The PA Cyber Charter?
No, Commonwealth Charter Academy. They're all dated 4/19, but I'm assuming that's when we just put them in.
Yeah, the 4/19. Yeah, we won't actually send these out until you approve this next week, with the motion.
Right, but that's for 1 month. That's
Yeah.
what I'm asking. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
CSIU service contract.
Yeah, this is
Payroll.
that time of the year when we start getting contracts in for the next school year. So this is the first of those agreements. Next month you'll see most of the others. So
Basically the same.
yeah, like I said, we had converted from a Fox Pro based system that they had to a web based. So there's some different fees associated with it, but it's essentially the same thing. It's just a web-based version. And that's for payroll, personnel, and fund accounting. And it's based on the number of students that we have. So they use the end of year student number, and then that's what the fee is. It's based on.
Any questions? Yeah, okay. Agreement with Conrad Sigel for GASB 75 valuation and related services.
Yeah, the GASB, there's all these GASB requirements now from the federal government for accounting standards and what has to be reported on your balance sheets. So what GASB does, they provide a service where I provide them what some of our post-employee benefits are, and the list of employees, and they run these functions and they end up with these numbers that they attach to our balance sheet. So we get this, I give this to the auditor, then they include this on their federal reports. So they want to make sure that school districts like in other small government municipalities account for all the balance sheet entries that they may have, so that you're not running future obligations beyond your ability to pay. So that's what that is.
Hey Lance, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
The MOU with the Sullivan County Education Association for Cyber Academy Evaluator Services for 21-22. That's for this past year.
Yeah. We had this agreement that wasn't really workable for that. It's the teachers that are providing the online.
Right.
Some of the wording in there stated that they'd be paid twice a year. At mid-year, they'd be paid by an average of the year's students. You haven't completed the year. How would I know what that average is? So it cleans it up. They're paid twice, and they're paid by the number of students per month. So I thought if that's the way we have to clean up the contract, that I would want it reapproved by the board for payout.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It said I would pay them at mid-year based on the average of students that they had for the whole year. How would I know what that is at mid-year? Yeah.
Okay. And nutrition group renewal, is that basically the same?
Yeah, that's now next year the USDA has not obligated themselves to provide the waivers for free meals or meals provided at no cost.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's still winding its way around Congress. If you heard them talking about USDA, and they pulled that out of that budget reconciliation and some of that COVID relief. There's like 10 billion of COVID relief that had that included, but it was pulled out. So this contract actually shows it will be running the free paid and reduced program at the cost that we had 2 years ago. So there's been some adjustments because we know when people will have to start paying for lunch that we'll probably have a reduced participation. That's kind of been figured into this contract. So
will the school lunches be the same price as they
Yeah.
were before they were
Yep.
free?
Yeah, it's $195 in the elementary and $205 at the high school
Per week, per day,
per day.
per day.
Yeah, which is going to be a big shock to a lot of people. They were used to getting them at no cost. So
Anybody have any others?
Is there anything outside of the
The
agenda
number
that
of
you
the
guys
text as
had?
soon as possible. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Okay.
I don't know who we're leaving a message for, but hello. There has to be a better way.
Is the internet that bad? I mean, half the time it's coming in and out.
I don't know.
Oh, we had a power outage today by REC, and it really took everything down and out. So we were without phones, we were without internet. Lance has been working since mid-afternoon, getting all the servers started back up again and all the network closets. So
What I was started to say is, did you have anything outside of just the agenda items that you guys worked on? in any of your committee meetings.
Yeah, but they'll be in an executive session. Anything
Right.
that we've worked on.
The one thing I wanted to bring up, which I think Joe's going to bring it up during buildings and grounds, but just from a finance perspective, that we have to, we're going to have to pull the trigger soon so that Doug knows what he's doing in regards to the addition from a finance perspective.
Mhm.
So that kind of ties in.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Joe?
Ruined my surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's a surprise, but I do know
Yeah.
that we should get
No, go
the
ahead.
finance committee dialed into it so
Yeah.
that we can start looking at budgetary aspects of it.
Yeah, that,
That'll be in the budget, right?
yeah, that's what I wanted to
We
say.
get
That's why I hope they have a page so we could look over the debt service on that it would be included. I mean, it looks like it's laying out pretty good for us. And I was telling Joe before the meeting that I was in contact with Audrey Bear from Piper today about interest rates. She says things are looking good right now. I mean, we did our financing when we should, lowest rates available, and right now we're kind of at a good place for, you know, what she said would be available would be, we would she would recommend a loan instead of a bond. I think I brought that up before, and we would bid that out and then accept only those in fixed terms, and the conditions of usage would be the same as your bond issue, which you'd use it for capital assets, because essentially your loan or bond holder wants to know that it's not purchasing stuff, it's actually purchasing a capital asset, something that's amortized, so that it's on your balance sheet. The value of that would be held in security as part of the building. So that's how you have to use those dollars. So, yeah, anyway.
Okay.
I've got the interest rates there. We just know that we're moving forward at this amount, so we know exactly what to capture.
Okay.
And
Anthony, can you hear us now? Gabe, Anthony just joined in via cell phone here.
Okay. Good deal.
Yep. Hi, folks. Sorry. Running behind work.
Thanks for logging in though from work.
Do you want me to do the athletics?
Sure.
We have a letter of resignation from the girls' varsity basketball coach. Did he actually send a letter? Yeah. Okay. I just got a memo. Okay. It was 3/14. April 14th, or March 5th, March 14th. I forget where I am. Okay. And that's it for athletics and health.
I don't know if we need to bring it up here or where it would fall under, but a lot of people are asking about porta potties for baseball and softball.
They're on the way.
They're on the way. Thank you. Perfect.
On upper side or lower
Thank you.
side? The softball field or towards the baseball field? Yeah. Before, yeah. Okay. I'm just asking, that's all. It's probably,
Yeah, I think they were at the end of the outfield.
Yeah, we talked, if we're going to do that, we might as well just start planning on that. You know what I mean? So they're
Yeah.
there.
okay. And I think that's, like I said, that's it for.
I don't know. No, we're still good, but the timing on technically we need to wait 2 minutes.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, did we?
Oh, when can we start advertising for the varsity coach? Do we have to wait till next week?
No, we can go ahead and do that right away. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. And, all right,
They should have all the recommendations next month.
well, I'm just saying, we have his resignation now.
Yeah.
We should start advertising now for that position.
We may have
Yeah, I
other
agree.
varsity coaches too. And-
Well,
and
that's
whether we
fine.
do 'em-
Yeah, we'll do them when they come up. Like this year is coming up. Like it's time to do it. Like we don't wait around and wait till last second. So we're going to do it as soon as we can.
That was Anthony.
yeah, I agree with that, but I'm saying we may have more
Oh,
as a,
but we might not too. So we might as well do it as soon as we can. Okay.
So it doesn't happen like baseball season.
Yeah, I don't want another baseball. Like what
And
happened.
most
I agree.
coaches
I agree.
come up the past 2 years. So we're going to do it as soon as we can.
That resignation for the other baseball coach resigned in June. And we waited till what, February to put the baseball coach in? I mean, that's kind of a little silly.
I believe we
Well,
got
it wasn't.
one
It was advertised and then pulled off
in the fall.
In the fall, it was advertised and pulled off. And if you want to talk about it in executive session, we'll explain it to you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that wasn't just simply held off until spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And we would do coaches and advisors at that time at the high school level because we have class advisors and those sorts of things too.
And
Club
they should all be
advisors.
next month.
Yep.
Again, we're going to post for the position as soon as possible. It's
We're
not,
not arguing that. We're not arguing that.
Yep. Not arguing.
Is our 2 minutes up?
Take it away, Joe. Buildings and grounds.
Informational facilities use requests were received from the following district organizations: Sullivan County High School Auditorium, the Sullivan County High School Guidance for Curriculum Presentation, the high school and elementary practice space for the varsity basketball, the high school cafeteria, boys basketball banquet, the high school auditorium for the use of the cyber safety program, the high school gym and weight room, boys basketball, the high school auditorium, the high school music spring concert, the elementary playground for the high school graduation ceremony, the high school auditorium for the high school winter concert.
Yep. This
Okay.
coming December.
Yeah, for next December.
Oh, so he got it in early.
Okay. Who is the cyber safety committee?
That includes the probation officer at the courthouse. There's a couple members down there. There's a cyber safety person in charge down there. And then there's students, and Officer Reeves is also on the committee.
Okay. Oh, I'm just.
Yep.
And there were probably other people that were wondering too.
Oh, and victim services is involved in that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's about 10 of us that have worked over the past I guess together, we've worked together for about 2 years now. This presentation tomorrow night is really excellent. We did a presentation with an FBI agent in November of 2020. It was going to be in the courthouse and available to the public, but then with COVID cases, it was made virtual, and we had about 80 attendees. Ethan Wilson covers some really powerful material that's, I think, really important for our families to find out about. So I would encourage all of the families in our community, whether you have children in the schools or even if they're young adults, tomorrow night.
Okay.
It's a really important.
Lance, I'm not sure if they got the last piece of that, but I think Lance was telling the community and families to come out to see that presentation tomorrow night. It's an excellent one.
Right.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yes. Okay. For some of these signatures and stuff, maybe we ought to have a line where they actually have to print their name, because the signatures are just a scribble. Who is it and stuff, you know what I mean?
Does it say to the left who
What do you mean? To the left?
on the form where they sign? Because I know it says principals Samantha Kaler or Lynn Emberlin. Does
Right.
it just say AD? It
No,
has
no,
the names.
It just, here with boys basketball.
It says on their application, right?
At the top.
Oh, you're talking about the actual person that's requesting it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It
Yep,
don't
no, I
have
know what
the
you mean. Yes.
the actual person. Should we have a line there where they print their names? Because like I said, some of these people just kind of scribble their names
Right.
and it's unrecognizable.
I don't have a form in front of me, but is there a spot towards the top that says who's in charge?
Yeah, I thought it said in the top. Doesn't it say in the top of the application?
Yeah,
They
it
just
says,
have the Sullivan County School District.
yeah, it says I representing the Sullivan County High School boys basketball.
They should put, that's where they should have their name,
Oh,
okay?
Yes.
Because they're requesting it, so they should have their
I thought it
name.
was something.
Yeah,
That's
we should probably put like
A
name
contact
and-
person or
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I get
And
it.
here with the boys basketball one.
Yeah, that we got dates for that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I called and I said this just can't be. I want to be here forever for always.
Yeah.
You know.
it
So
can't be.
there's actually. I thought I had that written on my notes somewhere, but I'll put dates on. I updated the actual form with the dates because I asked Stacy to get a hold of him. So he actually has it like April through August. So he's got dates that we got.
Well, that's fine, but it's like I said here, it
Yep.
was just
Yep.
open-ended, and they're requesting from 3:30 to 8.
their intention is not to use it the whole time, but it covers if their practice was earlier, it was included. If it was later, it was included.
Wonder if somebody else wanted to use it during those times.
And that's what I think Doug got more information. So we know we had a discussion. He's like, well, how do I write this? So it covers what if there's another event that needs to use the gym, so I need to change my time. So he made it in general, made it in general.
Yeah, open gym doesn't take precedence over someone that has a specific requirement. So like if we had one come in and said, I need the gym, like REC needs the gym for August 13th from 1 to 4, they get the gym 1 to 4, and open gym is just work around that schedule. And I think on his, it actually,
We just went through the same thing for, what is it, Sunday League or whatever.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah,
to make it very vague like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't make it that vague and get that much time open. You know what I mean? Just in case somebody else
Yeah, they
what-
review
what-
it though, so it's
What
not.
organization specifically are you talking about right now?
Varsity boys basketball.
Okay, because I think whenever the Little League requested it, we just put a note on there because it's a very broad time frame, and you just put a note on there that says that we understand that the school functions take precedence over our times, which
It's different.
But it's an open gym. It's not, yeah.
totally get it.
So, okay.
We'll tighten it up. Yep.
Yeah, I just think it would be better that way if things were. Okay. Request space is what I'm saying. Just he's requesting the weight room and the gym for that whole period of time. I'm just saying, you
But
know,
that's
what I
not
mean?
really what he's requesting.
That's not really going to happen. But I'm just saying, if somebody else wanted to use it and stuff, he has blocked off. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm not, that's not my point at all. I just said him, instead of just being general and throwing it out there, things should be a little bit more tightened up. That's all.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, John. I'm kind of with you. If this is something that we're asked to vote on, I think this is more of an informational item. We should get all the details.
Right.
So if there is more information, sounds like there is, just kind of pass it along.
So, okay. Did everybody get a chance to look at the plans on the board? Look at the plans for the new addition?
hmm
Or is everybody satisfied? Anyone think we should be making changes? Then can we make a motion to move forward with it?
Well, no, for next week.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Okay. So then I'll let Mike Lemereau that we're good with that and he can continue work.
And I just want to clarify one thing. We do not have any interest in putting bathrooms in that area. So it can be separated and close the rest of school off to the public coming to events. This is when we talked about the Porta Johns at the softball, baseball games. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, that would bring a whole new aspect to that program or that project.
Not to complicate things, but on that note, I had a couple parents on the buildings and grounds side mention to me that when it rains, it's hard that the boys locker
We're not hearing you.
room drains back up with water. What's that? Yeah. I don't know. We need to look at a different format here, but yeah. The drains are back up.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, that's what they're talking about is we had that typhoon a few weeks ago. I mean, we had 3 inches in about 20 minutes. And what happens is that all the roof drains, of course, go into the drainage tile pipe. But there's some of them like the boys locker room water cooler drain is one of them that backs up because the piping can't take the amount of water it's trying to go down. So it backed up the drain into the boys water cooler in the boys locker room. That only happens. That's very rare when that happens. And it only happens when we get a lot of rain at one time. So, no, it's not sewage. Somewhere they got, and I can't explain it. They must have some of these drains tied into the drainage for the water coming off the roofs. That's the only other way that can happen because that's separated. All that's separate. There's storm drain mains that run down alongside of the creek down on the sewer plant, along with the sewer main in itself. But it seems to be that one, and there's one up in the high school library hall. That didn't do it this time, but I don't have an answer, and why that does that, and it's.
So do you think the replacement of those sewer lines will alleviate that from that corner of the building?
It may once we get up here, if we're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Included in the budget, and then as part of this project, we told Mike Lemerow that we would work to replace the water or the sewer that goes under that corner of the building. So that will be new when we do this project. So hopefully.
So Lynn, what you're saying is.
No, but they run down beside it. Right.
Yeah, but if it's backing up into the water fountain drain, so when you turn the water fountain on, it goes into the drain in the water fountain.
Correct.
That's sewer. So if that's backing up, then that is not rainwater.
That's right. Well, it's coming. It's because of it. And again, I don't have an explanation for it. I can only think that it's something right outside of the corner of the building here.
No, I mean you cannot.
I'm sorry. Out of the boys' locker room drinking fountain, which is when you go in the main hall here, right in. No other drains in there. We have the shower drains, all that stuff. That's in the boys' locker room. Does it?
Well, can we move that? So
we can. Yeah,
just close it off and actually tap into.
Yeah, we can move the fountain, but again, this is only since I've been here. It's probably only the second time that's happened.
I've never heard about it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, all I know is that you can't dump stormwater into the sewer drain. So
Correct.
If the water fountain, and you can't dump sewer water into the storm drain.
Yeah, and anecdotally, I know that we always have an issue having enough water run through the sewer plant. So I can't imagine that we would have much stormwater going down there. That's always the complaint that HDC and the new company that took over this week that monitors the sewer plant, that sometimes we have to turn the water on in the janitor's closets just to water the plant enough for it to function.
It's not.
So we can't be taking a whole lot of water. Otherwise, it would be we wouldn't have that. I don't know. We got to figure that out.
It hasn't. Again, there's been nothing else in the boys' locker room was affected by that. Yeah. Just that cooler drain. So I'm going to guess that somewhere along the line, I don't know how, but it only happens when we got that severe amount of rain. It can be moved and we can cap it off. There's one in the backside of the girls' locker room that wasn't affected. It didn't have any of them problems. So I can't answer that exactly, other than us moving it, doing that, and putting it in a different location. One drinking fountain, correct. In the boys' locker room. That's it. Nothing else backed up. The sinks didn't back up. Toilets didn't back up. Nothing else was affected. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, we could do something there possibly. All right. All right. Or mounted on the outside of the bathroom.
Yeah. So,
Correct.
so what it sounds like is at some point, someone from the roof drain tied into that one roof drain tied into whatever, either vent line
Very
or
well could be. Yes.
where that water fountain is, and it's that issue, but we should try to locate that.
Okay.
So what you were saying is about bathrooms that were limited access or with the ability to.
So when you go to a different school to go to an event,
Yep.
you drove for an hour. What's the first thing you do when you get there?
I know where you're going. Yeah.
Okay, so and not just that you drove for an hour, you drove for 10 minutes. So people are going to have to come in the door, go through the gym to use the restroom, come back in. If they want to go to the concession stand, they have to come out to the concession stand. And then if they want to use the bathroom, they have to go through the gym to get to the concession stand. Because I don't think from the concession stand, there's a hallway they can access.
Yeah. See, there's no mechanicals in that new section. If we do that, that's a whole different project. I mean, they would have to redesign that.
I know, because I asked about that before, and that's what came up. But, you know, my thought is, here you are. If you want to build this big addition, and if you want to do it right, do you see what I mean, we had loads of trouble with people on the gym floor and the slippery floor this year. Hopefully that's not an issue next year, but you're going to have more traffic.
No, I think I'm hopefully picking up what you're putting down. Adding bathrooms. I kind of only hear bits and pieces. Please unmute when you guys talk. But I'm all for adding bathrooms to this. I know it's going to push dates and plans and.
How?
But at the end of the day, if we yeah, if we do it right, the right thing to do is do it now, not do it 5 years down the road. If we do it then, like, let's do it now, do it right.
And I don't know what does everybody else think? I'm not talking multiple, like a large bathroom, but two. And I know we talked about this before. And I know, because you have to run the plumbing.
Yeah. Oh, no, it shouldn't, not just that. If you add new bathrooms, they all have to be compliant. So we're not talking about one or two stalls. We're talking about probably a third of the amount of one of those rooms being compliant bathrooms. You know, it would probably be three
I
or
don't
four.
know. You know, even if we only put one ADA accessible bathroom in, just one, I mean, that's better than nothing. So, I mean, it's just worth looking at or asking the question.
We would, can you hear me? We would have to actually check on that because there are limitations to, just like here, if you see when you come inside here, there's signs that say, 484 people max, whatever. Every building is designed, even this school, when it was built, the bathrooms were designed to handle the percentage of the people that are estimated to be in the building. So with the addition, that would also still apply. So I guess that figuration would have to be made to see, and I can call Frank, the co-guy, and talk about that.
The building was built for 2 or 3 times as many people as we currently have in a building. Okay. I mean, there was
Correct.
many more.
But I mean, I'm
So
just
it was
talking
designed
about
for many more
proposing,
people, no matter
putting
what we had.
bathrooms in the addition.
Let me get in touch with Mike
I'm
Limmer and
sorry.
see where he would think it would be.
Well, what is this? Is that a washer and dryer right by the concession stand?
Yes.
Yeah, see, we were going to use the mechanicals in that closet for the concession area so that no new mechanicals would need to be added. I mean, this project started off, a lot smaller than what this is becoming. And now, honestly, I have to see if we can, you're talking about a different financial instrument than what we originally took out for this. So I'll talk to Mike Lemerow and see what he has to say.
What are
and
we
where we
talking
would go.
about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about doing? Putting a man and a woman's bathrooms in the addition. For whom?
For everybody.
I know, but I mean, for whom? I mean, is this because when there's a basketball game, the people will be coming in and need it?
Yeah. So instead of using the ones in the hallway, Lynn would like them to use the ones that
Instead
are.
of going through the,
You could
Yeah.
actually open that section up when there's a baseball game and people can come in and use the concession stand in the bathrooms.
I was thinking the same thing. Then you think of our spring sports where you don't need to worry about porta potties. That was the conversation earlier. I'm thinking, well, if this new gym comes in, or the new not gym, but the new addition comes in, and there's bathrooms. So much
Well,
thing to
I mean,
worry about.
for the soccer people, that we still had porta potties and we still had our facilities open, and the closest bathrooms would have been right inside the building. The same with baseball, to have them come in a different door. You wouldn't use the inside concession for spring sports.
I'm just saying it's an option that you would be able to, and your bathrooms would be there. And I don't know if your intent is to, this has come up in discussion about have the weight room open to the public.
that's what I was just gonna say.
I think that's just about resource management. I mean, as far
I mean,
as
that means you have somebody at the door again.
yeah, I think that's about resources, not necessarily our unwillingness to do that.
Right, but I'm saying, so if you're letting them go into the hallway to use the bathroom, they're now in the school where you could close off the gym and that area that's all they have access to. My big
But then
thought
you'd
was,
have to close that locker room, and there'd only be one exit out of the locker room, and we'd have kids in there sometimes. You can't do that. You're not going to be able to close that locker room hallway, because you put the kids in the locker room and you have a fire and you have one exit. Well, some lawyer will get rich. You cannot lock that.
She's talking about
I'm talking about,
non-school hours. If we open the exercise room to the public or whoever, they wouldn't have a restroom to use. They'd have a gym or a weight room and no restroom. We're not talking locking kids in any locker room or
Well, yeah, but
anything like
to
But you
lock
still
off
need
the
to
rest of the building,
access.
you've got to lock that locker room to lock off the rest of the building. You got to lock off that locker room.
Right,
That means
non-school
somebody comes
hours.
in the other door, they only have one exit.
and this was
So
just
you'd have
something
to
to
make another
discuss.
exit.
I'm not arguing this. I can see different scenarios, especially the people coming in to a game or a wrestling match, whatever it is, they have to go through the gym to go use the restroom.
Yeah, see, I mean, when we spec this out, it was, we had
Trying to
this
download
amount of
Right.
resources to build
to bring
that,
them up.
and now
Yeah.
we're at here, and now I think we've exceeded the limits that we have available to us. So we have to define what we're trying to do here. Now it seems like we want an all-purpose expansion for every sport, and not weight room and wrestling room and concession area. So this has grown beyond what I think even that area will support. So something's going to have to go. Either the wrestling room will go or the concession area will go, so that we have restrooms available for sports. I mean,
My thought is,
that size is only so big. They can only make something
that.
there so big between there and so now we're
but
at
the question
an
is-
expansion that doesn't fit in that space anymore.
The questions just have to be asked, because right now everybody's coming up with excuses on why not. And I think it's just like what Lynn's saying. Let's just ask. Like let's find it down. None of us have a real definitive answer in saying yes or no. But if we don't ask the question to the right engineering folks, we're not going to get the answer. And I think us debating it without having a focus group on this, we're just going to beat this to a dead horse tonight.
Well, I mean, I think we started talking about this in July,
right,
almost
and I mentioned
2
the
years
bathroom.
ago, and we borrowed a specific amount of money thinking we could do it, and now it was supposed to cost 30% more, and then we were going to cover that with additional financing, and now we're in something that we should have borrowed twice as much as we borrowed to do it, because now it's defined differently than what we originally talked about doing. So that's just,
I
heard
think
the
we just
comment.
don't open
I've
the,
heard the comments already said, let's make this room smaller so only we can use it. That was thinking prior to this board. So that has changed, and now we need to ask these questions. I mean, it's changed.
You're muted.
a business manager just has his leg shaking because he's, you know, what fits in a budget, you know?
Lance, I'd like to make a recommendation that we get a different system to have these meetings under in regards to I think the reality of it is, though, even with the use of bathrooms and stuff, and I'm not knocking our own structure, but I don't know why it seems when you go to surrounding school districts that the ease of use of the facilities seems to be so much more, I don't want to say free flowing, but free flowing. And I don't know whether it's just because they're breaking all the rules, but I'll just bring it up again. Like, I go to Warrior Run quite often for events, and there's access like everywhere. And I don't know whether that's just because they're creating a free for all and you can just go in, but you walk down certain hallways and there's a gate and you cannot get past the areas that are actually available are available. Like, you can walk in the door. There's no one at the door. The only time there's people at the door is if they're actually collecting money to try funds, but it's not like the gatekeeper. That's basically someone collecting money. I'm not sure. I do think that asking the question doesn't cost us anything, but I understand what you're saying. But what we were trying, the original conversation we had, basically, like what Anthony said, when we looked at this, because this has been dragging on, what he said is 100% true. I mean, we had a 40 by 40, I think, or it was, it's like, well, let's make it as small as we can. So only just fit a mat in here. So then we sort of retold the whole thing. I think asking the question is probably worthwhile. What is necessary? And again, it could have been grandfathered in by code, but like using Montgomery as an example, and when you go to Montgomery in the upstairs in the gym, there's literally a single bathroom, right? Like, you could crack the door, watch them shoot hoops. I mean, it's like right at the end of the not the greatest position for a bathroom, but you know where it is because you were down there. But it's literally this tiny little bathroom that's right at the end of the.
And that's in
where
the
to
old
go.
gym. I feel like I need to say that's in like the one in the school, not at the complex. But yes, there is a tiny little.
But if you think about it, I'm not suggesting that. Like I said, that is in the old gym. I don't know how old it is or whether. I know there's code compliances that you have to follow, but putting a single, unisex bathroom in that can be utilized at a minimum would be worth asking the question if the plumbing is already there.
I mean, think of your family. They go
I
out.
don't think of
I'm
my
sorry.
family. That's another
They
land
go to
of
now, just because there's
planning.
lots of littles. Okay, they go to the concession stand. What are they going to do next? Have to go use the restroom. So they're all going through the gym.
Yeah.
That's
Devil's advocate here. We could have thought about bathrooms a half a year ago.
I mentioned it
I'm not
before
sure
and was
we're here.
told that there were no there were no utilities being added in. That's why. And then just when we were talking about the porta-johns today.
They're tying. You're going to get into the lines, though, right?
I'm sorry for throwing a big monkey.
Yeah, well, we're coming up to we're going to be running out of time for these bond funds, to be used. We got to start. We have to start the project at some point,
Yeah, these aren't big questions and big decisions, though. I think it's a simple ask.
No, we ask the questions. The dollar amount comes back real huge, and we end up buying an accordion-style iron gate that we put in the hallway to isolate different hallways. So, I mean, I'm not unreasonable, but I think asking the question, not asking the question is just a bad idea.
And if it does come back outrageous, we don't open the weight room to the public, and
or we just
our kids use the girls' locker room or boys' locker room and call it a day.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with the, I wanted to say with the weight room and its equipment will be designed for our athletic programs.
Right.
If the community wants to come in and use what we have, we're not going to design or build it for the community use. We're designing it for the athletic use. So,
Agree.
with a development program for athletes, there's going to be big weights in there. There's going to be big equipment. There's going to be things that, like, maybe I won't be able to lift, but it's not designed for me. It's designed for the student athlete, So that, once we open it up, that has to be kind of understood that we designed it around what the athletic program needs.
Sure.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of schools that you had to go find the bathroom. You get there mainly because poor design, I guess, or the schools changed over time.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'll be on the phone tomorrow. I'll ask Mike. He may have even run up contingencies for that sort of thing anyway. You know what I mean, in his preliminary design. So we'll just
Simple questions.
because they've already done the surveys. So I mean, he would know where he would be tying things over. So
Right.
we can
So-
ask.
But I mean, whose space are we going to take?
It's
We're
gonna
going to
take
make
some-
the weight room smaller so that we can have a bathroom in there.
I
Okay.
Let's
I
just
think
let's
that's to
just see if it's even doable first. Like that's a whole different ball game. I feel.
No, I think that's part of it. I mean, if you're going to have, whose space are you going to take? Whose
Well, I
space are you
think
going
if
to take to
you're
put these bathrooms in?
spending all this money to have big groups come, you want to have tournaments, you want to have different things happening. I mean, I'm thinking of the handicap person that's coming up, this new big sidewalk that we put in at the right specifications for handicap. They have to be pushed all the way through the gym to go to the restroom and then all the way back. If they want to go to the concession stand, they're coming all the way back and then back into the gym. It's just something to think about, something to ask a question
Right.
about.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we asked the question, what type of, I think we need to take this to action though soon in regards to, can we make some form of motion, Doug, to allow you, I mean, could we word it contingent upon, so that you could at least start looking into the funding aspect. We need to move the project forward. I don't think that whether or not we can isolate bathrooms in here is not going to hinder or project, whether we do or whether we don't. I don't think we'll have to make a decision at some point in the very near future, but I think we should probably form some type of a motion for next week that allows you to move forward with securing funding. I mean, I don't know if the rates are changing as drastically in the lane that you're in, but I know home mortgage refinance right now, it's like you can't get it's like a day if you sign one of those, that's how, now they're not changing dramatically, but it's a quarter point, or percentage of a point. I'm not saying that those loans are going to change.
And we're kind of in a different market because that market is like the not-for-profit, longer term finance rates. So, yeah.
So should we work on forming a motion between now and Tuesday that allows us to move ahead with the financing aspect?
Yeah, we can work something up.
And I would say just ask Mike, see what he says. No, it doesn't make sense. It's going to add.
Yeah. Well, I'll have another motion for the finance portion just to allow me to move forward. Now, of course, we'll have to bid it, so that'll come back and,
What's
you guys
the
will
washer
have
and
to-
dryer specific intended for?
I put that in there.
For what?
Okay, because when we started off in all these skin diseases, we give the kids towels and wash them every day.
I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I'm just thinking.
That's why it's there.
I'm just thinking that maybe the
Put a
possibility.
compact up and
put a-
down washer,
put a,
dryer,
you know,
and put a bathroom
Maybe
right
that
there.
room could accommodate still like
You can't,
'cause there's a sink in there.
compact. Can't do the towels in a compact.
There's washer and dryer in the home ec room.
That's why we have it, because they threw us out.
Right.
Okay? I mean,
I'm
nobody
just
wants,
asking.
they threw us out. And that's why we put a washer and dryer in there. And it was all over skin disease. And that's important. If you think bathrooms are bad, let's start skin disease.
Okay.
where I was going with that was just the fact that depending upon that, the size of that room and the hallway and the existing lobby, that it's now maybe shifting 12 inches one direction. I might be I think it's worth the ask.
Custodians also use that room.
Yeah, they use
They use that room too. It's a custodian room too. So you're going to have to build them a room so they have a place to put their stuff and their cleaning stuff and all that. So let's eliminate the weight room.
I think we're just making excuses of why we can't do something. Let's actually go on the positive side and say, let's ask the question and see if we can do something.
Right,
and then
we're
we can make
arguing about it
decisions.
and we haven't even asked yet.
Goodness.
Let Doug ask the question. Let's move on.
All right. And then, Mr. McMahon, you're going to check into this sewer backup thing that brought our attention. Sweet.
Also, do we have mouse traps? Because my concession stand people are ready to quit because 2 mice just ran by.
I have sticky traps. We can't.
No, we've got for what service do we have for the building? We'll just have them include that.
Yeah, I'll have him treat
They
it.
just sent me a picture. There's a hole in the side of the building that they're just going right in.
I'll check that out.
We'll talk.
I'll check that out, but also have him put bait and traps around it,
Thank
like
you.
they did the rest of the building.
At both concession areas. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. We actually do have a pest control policy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like, I don't know. It looks like it was a piece of wood or something that they just ate a hole in and are hungry. They want food too.
All right. So Mary Elise is not here. So Heather or Shelley, do you guys want to take on the curriculum?
Yeah.
You guys are muted.
Yeah, I had just put on there for the comp plan update because I wanted to let the committee know. We met with the steering committee for the comprehensive plan last month. We reviewed the surveys. We solicited input from the staff to develop the goals. So we reviewed the whole plan. Portions from the beginning. We're to the point of creating our goals and how we're going to accomplish those goals. So we reviewed that survey. We had the meeting. We got input, and today we met with Aaron Hamilton of the IU, where we were setting up those goals within the tool, and we have another plan that's attached to that, the Act 48 plan, which we had an Act 48 meeting right after school today. So we were planning our professional development activities in support of the goals, several of the goals that are included in the comp plan. Lynn and Sam, do you want to add anything to?
I was just going to interject and say that how the plan is set up, it's ready, set, go, these 3 sections. We are through the ready, we are through the set, and we are starting on the go, which is what Doug was speaking to about the goal setting and actually starting to create a lot of these plans that are within the plan. We met with Erin Hamilton today. Sadly, she's leaving the IU, but they assured us that there would be somebody to assist us with the process. And we made the timeline from now until the completion date, and we are on target. We have a plan. Things are progressing nicely.
May. Mm-hmm. So we'll have another meeting of the steering committee, so we can go back to them and show them the goals that were created from the suggestions, and then you set up these plans to actually meet those goals, and that's what part of the Act 48 activities will be in support of those goals. So
good deal.
And then, like I said, that portion comes back to the board, and then that's when we start to review and put out to public for view.
This week we had canceled our you hear me? Okay.
Mhm.
We canceled our meeting and we're going to be rescheduling it once Mary Elise is feeling a little better. She was under the weather. So that's to be determined and we'll let everybody know when that is. And that's it for the curriculum.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. For transportation, we basically just need to deal with summer school transportation unless you guys have anything
Yes.
else to add. I don't have anything else. Unless Heather, Crystal, or Shelley, do you guys have anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, both of our contracts are through next year, so that's when we'll start talking about the athletic contract and our regular contracts with the bus contractors.
Personnel.
Are we allowed to move on?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I didn't feel like that was our time limit thing, but whatever. Okay.
We're way
We're
past,
past
we're way
that.
past that.
Oh,
We're
okay.
good.
Perfect.
Why?
Thank goodness. Okay.
Lynn's toilets took us way beyond.
Please don't even mention that word again.
It was her fault.
Okay, school police officer service agreement renewal for the 2022-2023 school year.
Appointment of a homebound instructor. So I'm confused as to why some of these things are.
But they're already happening. Like, is it just because we only meet once a month? Homebound instructor.
We advertised to approve to hire a homebound instructor.
Okay.
And this is just letting you know who it is.
Okay, perfect. Information in-house posting for 5.5-hour cafeteria worker acceptance. So you advertised in-house and this person, okay. Perfect. Approval to add to the list of approved custodian substitutes. Again, this is already someone approved. We're just adding them to the custodian list now, right? Request for paternity leave from a professional employee. Request for medical leave from a food service employee. So I did review that and it says until further notice. So, okay. Perfect. Approval to post and advertise for the anticipated elementary summer school positions. And 8, if there's anything else.
I just have one other thing. I might have by next week the number of teachers and paraprofessionals that I'll need for extended school year, which is a little bit different than our summer school program. Extended school year is for students with IEPs that are either not showing enough progress towards their goals, or if they show regression over long breaks like the summer. I might have that information by next meeting, and if you're okay, I'll include that on next week's. Is that okay with you guys?
Mhm.
Just the number of teachers in Paris that I need.
Yeah.
And if I don't have that information, then you'll see it the next month.
Perfect.
Could we also add the two high school summer school teachers?
If we have them, yeah, let's do it.
Well, just to advertise for them, not
Oh, okay. Yeah,
to fill the
absolutely.
positions.
Yeah, let's get
What is
that
that?
added for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get them added. Anyone have
Send
anything
a
else?
memo.
Nope.
Okay, that leaves policy and procedure. It's either me or Shelley because nobody else is here and there's nothing on the discussion items. Does anyone have anything? Mm-hmm.
Yours is off. Okay.
Oh, we're out.
I can hear.
Okay. Is this committee?
Committee. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, for us now, the only, and I know sometimes people laugh and smile, but I think with the current board we have now, I mean, I'll just use Hal and I as an example. Like,
Go ahead, talk.
actually, well, we argue about all kinds of stuff, but it doesn't really necessarily have a lasting effect other than 10 minutes or 10 seconds. Like, that's what the whole point is. So myself personally, like, arguments about this stuff is actually what a board is supposed to really do. Not necessarily have a fight, but there's the only restriction that we have as a board really is that we can't have more than 4 board members at a committee meeting, because otherwise then you have a quorum and then there's a different set of rules. Other than that, there could be 100 people at our committee meetings at any time to have essentially any discussion. I mean, I think that especially for a small school like ours, I mean, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I believe that if you were in an inner-city school system where there was 100 people at your board meeting, restricting someone to 3 minutes with a timer might be super necessary. From my perspective, if somebody wants to talk and they're going to talk for 5 minutes and 57
Anthony wants to hear what you're saying. Sorry, Anthony, it's awful service today.
Sorry, Anthony. This is
Nope. I just heard a whole lot of wrestling going on with somebody's microphone. So
that was mine. I took it off because I froze up here. What we were saying is about the committee meetings, and realistically, the only real restrictions on committee meetings, not just here, just in general, is you can't have more than 4 board members, or you get into a different set of rules in regards to a quorum. But what we were saying is that if there's 100 people that show up to the meeting, that's totally acceptable as long as it's not 6 board members. And the other piece to the puzzle is that I think there has been a lot of work that's been done outside of, or it feels like with having the committee meetings, I know at least for curriculum, I feel like you guys move the needle a lot, like just in a couple month time frame, more than we had in what I would say a couple year time frame in the past. But I think the goal is to make sure the public's aware if these meetings exist so that they can go if they want. Here's why though, because if you added Shelley and Mary Elise and their work in just that one committee meeting, these meetings would literally be 9 hours long. And that's the restriction of the timing of trying to actually get something done, because they worked for hours on going through this, not in hiding. They were just committee meetings. There was no decisions that could be made that made the decision. But the reason we were trying to break up the chain of cycle of how it was always done, is so that that actually occurred. Similar things occurred with the buildings and grounds. I mean, like it or not, and Doug's right, this addition has been sitting in the, like, with nothing being done with it. And sadly, I get it. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but without the outside committee of three team members at that point to say, come on, we got to move this ahead. We have to get the drawings revised. Now the drawings are revised. There's a couple more questions, but it's super hard to have all these committee meetings in one evening and actually get. So we're meeting in the middle. Like, here we are, committee of the whole, so that everyone could come and have conversations. And thank you, the three of you that showed up.
Well,
so
just look at the discussions we had tonight, going back and forth with the different committees. Other members, other than those on those committees, had input.
So discussion happens when you go to take a vote. So when we bring something to the table, we can discuss all night long during when it gets brought to the table. The problem is what did we actually add tonight to our agenda for next week from each committee? One or two small things. There was no additional actual deep dive work into some of the subjects that's plaguing our school. So I'm with Gabe. You look at the curriculum committee; they worked their butt off to try to bring back and establish new items. And if we would have sat here last tonight, it would have lasted 24 hours.
We're not saying not to have
the real world. That's how the real world works. We're not saying not
to have the other committee meetings outside of it. We're just saying to have a committee of the whole so people can come and hear what we're discussing. And so other members of the board can talk to those other committees. That's what we're saying.
And that's exactly what we're doing.
That's what we had to ask for this, though.
Sorry, Anthony was talking in the system, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to have a.
We're gonna have to get a different system.
Get rid of these, and it's. Yeah. But what were you saying? There you go.
Whoa.
Oh, we have a new. We've got a new. Solve the problem. Turn the volume up.
Anthony, say something. Oh, did he?
Yo, what's going on?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, I don't know how we do more than, because right now we have the regular board meeting, we have the committee of the whole meeting, and we're having the committee meeting. So having anything more, huh?
Yeah, but you don't get the discussion. That's a little hard to do.
But I think at the same time, that's what we're trying to say, that we don't have time to meet every day of the week either.
Plus, having a committee of the whole meeting makes it easier for the public.
We're there. We're doing both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah, I mean, the history committees doesn't go back that far. If you look, most districts didn't have many meetings, maybe 1 year. And they were separate. I mean, we started doing them all the same night. Actually brought everybody in. Like I said, Al mentions finance used to be.
Kind of in the dark here.
Sometimes before, and then there were 2 board meetings a month. So there were committee meetings, 2 board meetings, and yeah. And like, yeah,
No, that was the ask, and that's what is happening. So if any of the committees have a meeting, it's posted, and then there's also the committee of the whole. And I think we're doing all the above now. So we do have to have a short executive session after this as well. There's a couple items that the administration can stay for if you have the time, and then we should be good. Hmm? So, Lance, are you up there?
Yep. I'm just
we
gonna
gonna be
stop the
able-
recording. Give me one moment here. Yep, we'll keep Anthony on the line.
All right.
Thank you.